and the race is on to fix a water main break in Waterbury. I'm Stephen Reels with the latest on what you can expect coming up.
Advocates for Eve Rogers are holding vigil outside of court where her stepfather faces charges related to her death. I'm Victoria Anderson with why advocates say there's more to this story.
At 6 o'clock, we begin with a weather impact alert for heavy rain and even the possibility of some flooding. So make sure you grab the raincoat and an umbrella. Good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for starting off your day with us here at Fox 61. I'm Erica Arias.
And I'm Bridget Piorlo. A flood watch remains in effect due to that steady rain. Meteorologist Rachel Piscatelli is tracking the storm, and Rachel, drainage will be a challenge in spots today.
Absolutely. It'll be very intense for even our rivers and streams to start to keep up with this type of rain, as we have additionally up to about 4 to 6 inches in spots possible. Most of us will fall in that 2 to 4 inch category over time today. We are thinking the worst is between now and about 4 o'clock. As we head towards the second part of the day, the steady rain should begin to taper. Taking a look now, we have our flash flood warning that is in effect for parts of Fairfield and New Haven County. Now, this went into effect at about 5:15, where reports of about 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain already falling in an area. And within the last 45 minutes, we've seen some really intense bands coming through. So Shelton and Sonia included in this, as well as Trumbull, Stratford, Bridgeport. Is incredibly important to not drive through, or at least try to not drive through flooded waters or flooded roadways, or and be mindful of that. Route 8 included in that, from parts of Ansonia down into Shelton, as well as in Bridgeport right now. Taking a look at some of the intense rainfall rates already, as I mentioned, 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain already falling in spots. There's a purple there, indication of up to about 3 inches possible towards Bridgeport and Trumbull right now. We also have this steady rain band towards Oxford, all the way up towards Torrington now, up towards Sharon. So currently seeing some intense rainfall rates along the western half of the state. Into the afternoon, we will continue to see the radar fill in with pockets of steady and heavy rain, intense rain at times. It does look like it's going to begin to taper towards the back half of the day. So as early as 2 or 3 o'clock, we should see that rain begin to lighten. And as early as 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll see that steady rain taper to more in the way of some scattered shower activity. We're not necessarily done with the rain just yet. It looks like we'll have some lingering showers as we head through our Thursday. So a flood watch in effect for the entire state through about 8 o'clock tonight. So it's something that bears watching. Temperatures now in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. They will not move much today, only hovering around the upper 60s to near 70. So we'll talk more about where we go from here. We'll walk you through that hour by hour coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:03 on our roadways, we are checking in with Waterbury this morning on 84 east and westbound, which volume is light at this hour, but hopefully folks are going a little bit slow here, because that's where we see some of the heavier rain right now currently. Fairfield as well as New Haven, traffic is flowing all right. Middletown has emergency road work in the area. Also looking at Waterbury, again, 84 east and westbound there. We have green on our map as well as in New Haven. Over to you.
Rachel, thanks. Well, thousands of homes and businesses in Waterbury still without power this morning. This comes as crews continue to work to fix a water main that broke yesterday morning. Fox 61 Stephen Reels is joining us live in the Brass City now. Stephen, are city officials giving people any idea on when the water could start flowing again?
The latest we've really heard from the city's mayor, Paul Pernaruski, which was yesterday afternoon, was that the idea is that all of this should be wrapped up by Friday, if not into the early weekend. But it should be noted that that was made before all of this weather started to take place, because he said that if something like lightning were to come up, we could potentially see delays on what's already been a very long process for some people. Right now, 5,200 homes and businesses here in Waterbury still are without water or are running close to not having water. Right now, we're still waiting to see if we can get that delivery delivered. But the people who took the brunt of everything yesterday was the school right next door to the water main break, being Caner Technical High School. They had to deal with floods, 8 feet of water in their basement. So a lot of crews were trying to pump out water. I checked it out a little bit earlier. It seems like they put up a dam to divert any more water from coming to get to the school. They already had to go virtual yesterday for summer school programming. But right now, we're still waiting to hear more from city leaders who did say that this main break is uncommon and unusual, while smaller ones are still a little more common. The ones to this magnitude, very much not so, because it impacts so many people. So right now, eyes are on the new water superintendent to upgrade the city's aging infrastructure after this repair is done.
We will get this done. It's not a bad system. We just need to put some money into the ground. We need to get the work done, and we have to just roll up our sleeves and bear through it. The one thing I will say is if the residents in the areas can be very conservative about their water use, the water will last longer. It will basically help us get through this faster.
And within the past half hour, we did see crews start to show up. It looks like they're surveying everything that's been going on overnight, especially with the rain. So once we get an update from city leaders, we'll be sure to update you on air and online on fox61.com. Live in Waterbury, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.
All right, Stephen, thanks for the update. We'll check back throughout the morning. Meantime, as heavy rain travels across the state, make sure you track the weather right now on the free Fox 61 News app. That's where you can stay up to date on the latest conditions and even check out the 24/7 interactive radar. Also, make sure you turn on your push notifications so that you don't miss a single update. Several neighbors on Hawkins Street in Danielson have spoken up amid a house fire that killed 30 cats. And some are now wondering, was it safe to have so many cats in one home? Officials in Killingly say there's actually no limit on the number of cats or dogs that people can own. One neighbor says, well, he doesn't know the family and he never went inside the house. He believes there should be more oversight in the future on homes like this one.
It's definitely concerning, to say the least, that they had that many. That seems like possible neglect if you are going to have that many, or if it's reported that you have that many, that someone comes and audits, your house or something like that.
Another neighbor who didn't want to go on camera disagrees. She says she has 20 cats, 2 of which once belonged to the family who lost their house. Firefighters were able to save 1 cat, which went to a veterinary hospital.
Happening today in Waterbury, the woman accused of holding her stepson captive in a home for 2 decades is scheduled back in court for a pretrial hearing. Kimberly Sullivan faces several charges, including 2 kidnapping charges in the first degree. Sullivan's stepson, known to the public as S, was rescued from a Waterbury home during a fire in February of last year. S alleged that he started the fire in order to gain his freedom from being held captive in an 8 by 9 foot bedroom. Sullivan denies all the allegations against her. The man charged with killing a pregnant woman in 2023 will spend 34 years in prison. You see him there. Abdul Mahbub took a plea deal 2 months ago for the murder of 22-year-old Anastasia Paul. Mahbub was not in the courtroom but did appear over video. It was due to concerns that him being there in person would disrupt the court proceedings. Anastasia's family spoke about the impact her murder has had on her family.
She should still be here, and it's not fair. It's not fair.
You took the time that it takes to strangle Anastasia until she drew her last breath. You had the time to rethink what you were doing. You could have stopped, but you did not. That is the intentional act of a demon.
Mahbub pled guilty to murder, waived the right to a speedy trial. The judge also issued a standing criminal protective order that will prevent Mahbub from contacting the child he shared with Anastasia. The order will stay in effect until 2098. And at 6:09 this morning, in more court news, the stepfather of a 12-year-old girl who died earlier this year was due back in court yesterday, but that hearing never happened. Anthony Federline is charged with sexual assault. The charges came to light as police continue to investigate the death of this girl here, 12-year-old Eve Rogers. Before yesterday's scheduled hearing, people gathered to remember Eve and seek justice. Fox 61's Victoria Anderson shares the message from Eve's family and friends.
Community and family members want answers after the death of 12-year-old Eve Rogers. Advocates and supporters stood outside of Hartford Superior Criminal Court as her stepfather was scheduled to appear inside.
She was a light to the world. She was just a bright light. It was positivity was what made Eve who Eve was.
Eve Rogers' family and supporters stood outside the courthouse, focusing not on the tragedy of her death, but on the light she brought through the darkness. Her biological father, Robert Rogers, stood proudly wearing her name and a heart on his hoodie, speaking with community members like Libby Protzman.
This is about Eve. You know, this isn't a protest. This isn't a witch hunt against homeschooling or DCF or the police department or her surviving family. This is about seeking justice and also protecting other children.
The handful of supporters stood together as the 12-year-old stepfather accused of assaulting the 12-year-old was scheduled to make his fourth court appearance. Anthony Federline, however, did not appear before a judge on the charges of first-degree sexual assault and risk of injury to a child. His case was continued. Outside, Eve's biological father begged the community to think before they speak on the death of his daughter, specifically any assumptions surrounding Eve's siblings.
People seem to forget that there's 5 other children involved in this. A lot of the comments being made online are unfair to Eve's 5 siblings.
Police have yet to charge anyone for Eve's death. However, toxicology reports revealed the cause of death was linked to a lethal amount of an over-the-counter allergy and cold medication. Just one of many unanswered questions.
We're not going to stop. We're coming to every hearing. We will be here as a reminder to the justice system, to the community.
Federline is scheduled to appear next in court on October 1st. In Hartford, Victoria Anderson, Fox 61.
Coming up next here on Fox 61, Connecticut food share is growing. A major expansion aimed at getting more food to families who need it.
And buying your next iPhone could look a lot different. Apple's new monthly leasing plan and what it means for customers.